Welcome to another episode of
Sound It Out.
It Out. With Cailin and Shanida.
With Cailin and
Coming
Shanida.
to you from DC and New York.
New York City. Okay.
I'm coming in a little overstimulated. I think I'm starting to calm down now.
I kind of like when you're all like, woo, woo. It's great.
Yeah, I guess like the alternative would be not fun. But we are recording on a Sunday at approximately 2:30 p.m. We are squeezing this in during nap time over here.
Mm-hmm. And just
right now,
I would just be coming home from church, and getting ready. This is when Sunday scaries kind of creep in for me.
Ooh, yeah.
Like during the school year, but now that it's summer, I have no Sunday scaries. Every day is Saturday for me now.
Yeah, this is your literal first Sunday with nothing since you had the morphology course all last week.
Yeah. Well, we can do our catch up now. Let's catch up.
Let's catch up. Go ahead.
I'll start. So,
yeah.
I think my only thing is just like the end of school and of course morphology, but I'm going to talk about morphology once we get into the episode today because I feel like it's a really great connector. But I did want to say something about the end of the school year just for like nobody who's listening, but I think you as a parent know like how significant the end of the year is for like teachers, like how much we love your kids. And I feel like the reason why we're so dead at the end of the year, because we're emotionally drained, we're physically drained, but I think it's also like a little bit of self-preservation, because I think if we were to think about, and I saw this quote the other day on Instagram, where it says something like you have a year to create this little family, and then all of a sudden at the end of the year, it's over. And like you're done and you don't see these kids ever again. You don't have that experience ever again. And it's so bittersweet. So even though I was like, get out, I don't ever want to see your face again. There is a huge part of me that's like, oh my God, I love you. I'm going to miss you so much. Like, I'm sad.
Well, if I may, this was the first year that I got to experience it as a parent.
And oh my God.
Shanida, I was blown away by how big of a pit I got and how like when I walked into the classroom the last week. So Rye's teacher is incredible. Another teacher said to me on the first day of school, she said, I have good news and bad news. The good news is you have the best teacher at this school. Bad news is you've got the best teacher at this school. And he didn't mean to be like a dick, but you know, it's so true. And so two interesting things happened. One, I learned this teacher is incredible, but I don't see all of the behind the scenes stuff that I thought. I was defining myself as an incredible teacher because of all of the work I was doing with the lesson planning and the actual instruction. But you forget, like, parents don't see that. What made this teacher incredible was her communication.
I love that.
Constantly sending us photos and simple. I remember I used to write like novels of emails. People were not reading them.
No.
Like I don't mean, I like the little caption and a picture of him. Like that makes me so happy. He was amazing. So that was really interesting. I like wish I could go back and tell myself that for about 15 years of teaching. Like just.
But I think that's also, I think it's really good. It's a reflective thing that we do as teachers is we go, I see somebody doing something that I really love. How can I incorporate that? What am I doing that they're doing that I'm loving, but that I'm realizing that I'm not doing? I feel like that's a huge thing, though.
Yeah. Well, if anyone's listening, communication
Mom.
is like the simpler, the better. The other thing that struck me was, so like the last week of school, she was slowly taking things down. It wasn't until the last day of school that everything was really down. So you know that feeling of how bad you just want to clean up shop like the last month. But every time I came in, I noticed every little thing she took down and would get like a little upset. Like, it's really ending, isn't it? Like I
Yeah.
was so upset, and she was so excited for summer.
I was so excited. Oh my God. So my co-teacher and I were both very neat and organized. So we like that last week of school, everything was down. The rooms were like pristine, and it was just such a nice feeling, even though the kids every day would come in and be like, oh, it looks so sad. And we're like, go do your packet. Like, just
Do your
come in
packet.
and sit down. Like,
We're
we're
like,
not,
what's
like, there's no,
who's doing a
we have 2
packet
days
for the
left of
first
learning.
time?
We're done. We're done here. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's basically my, oh, yeah. And I think, oh, so you first time as a parent doing this. This is my first time ever because I will be, hopefully, God willing, oh my God, I will be staying in 4th grade with the same co-teacher and in the same classroom for the first time in 10, a whole 10 frame, 10 years. I won't be moving or packing up or switching or getting to know a new curriculum. I will be able to go in August, at the end of August, and like enjoy those beginning days of like prep. I can focus on like the real prep that I want to do. I'm so excited. I just pray it doesn't change because it can.
That's incredible. And like, why is, and I feel like, I mean, that's relatable for me too. Why were we never in the same place? Like, isn't that the best way to build a craft and provide the best education possible, is to have some consistency?
I don't feel like people really, and when I say people, I mean like admin and like, you know, the people who are running, you know, our schools, and you and I've had the privilege of working in private schools. I don't think they really see the benefits of that and how much the movement really, I don't want to use a swear word, but really messes you up. Because it becomes like another thing that you have on your back. I have to pack up the room. I have to take everything down. I have to put everything in boxes. I have to make sure that they're sorted correctly. Then when I come back in, I have to take everything out of the boxes. I have to reimagine my whole classroom. Plus, I have to
build a whole new relationship.
Oh, and that's like work. And that's like, it's like going to IKEA with your boyfriend. Right? Where you have to unpack and restart in a classroom with a stranger. Yeah. So you don't know how clean and organized they are, or like how they work when they're like, there's some people who like just can live out of a box and like just throw things in a place. There are other people who are really like, and I'm pointing at myself for those of you just listening and not watching the pod, where I like to like have everything set up in like places and like organized and like, oh, this goes in this. And I like to think about how like my cabinets are organized, like, you're building that relationship as you're building your room, as you're building the beginning of the year. Like, it's a lot.
Well, I mean, I like that you chose IKEA and not like Restoration Hardware, because it's like, I feel like it would be more of a Restoration Hardware vibe if you were continuing with the same person, the same curricula, the same, you know, but you're forced to kind of do it quick and dirty when you have to do it every year. You don't have time for things to really.
You don't have time. You don't have time, and I don't think it's like it's not beneficial. But if you know that person, like I know my co-teacher, and I love her, and we're very much alike, and we have things like we're texting each other. We actually did the morphology workshop together, and we were like message. Yeah, it was great. It was great. We never were in the same breakout room, but yeah, that was really great. Like
I didn't know that you guys did that together. I only saw video and photo of you drinking martinis and eating steak together.
That was also something. Oh my God, that was amazing. Shout out. I don't know. Yeah. Good parents.
What's the restaurant?
Actually, it's called La Tête d'Or, and it's Danielle Baloud's restaurant. I was actually going to. One of my things that I'm loving right now was going to be parent gifts, and that was going to be one of the things I was going to say is like talking about, you know, us as teachers, and like now you're a parent, so I don't know, I just feel like parent gifts are
all my money.
That's all we want. Take it.
Yeah.
Take my cash. I don't mind like a mug or whatever, but I also feel like certain things are good at certain times. Like I was going to say like chocolate. We love chocolate. Give it to me at Valentine's Day.
No, give it to me on a random Tuesday.
Or I never even thought of that. That's amazing.
It
Yes,
shouldn't
bring
be
me.
gift. Yeah, it shouldn't be
I
for
love
one of the
that.
monetary holidays. It should just be because.
I love that so much. Yes,
Yeah,
parent. And then
yeah.
I think every other holiday, it's like money, and it's not tacky. I will take cash.
Oh my God. I got one of
Yeah,
those.
our parents, our class parents, for our last gift they gave us, and it was like I was like, this is really touching because and it's not trying to like, I don't want to cheapen like what we do and be like, oh, we want like bags of cash. I mean, that would be nice, but
Well, we should get bags of cash.
it's just it's don't give me like chocolate covered fruit and a mug.
I know I
No
can
thanks.
say this because, well, first of all, my mother-in-law just told me today she still hasn't listened to my 2 episodes, and I was like, well, there's 3 now, but
This is for.
I know that if she one day binges and listens to this, she won't be angry at me. She'll laugh. But she said we were cleaning out a room and she found this big box of like treasures. And she's like, oh, you should give this to Rye's teacher for the end of the year. It's this like glass Swarovski apple. And I'm like,
No.
I was like, no, like I did hold on to it, but like we have to put the apple on top of a gift card.
Yes, with the cash in it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love it though. And I appreciate it. I also love cards. Like I keep all the cards that my kids give me. Even though some of them say the randomest stuff. Like I'm not going to read this one, but yeah,
Oh,
like happy teacher appreciation week. Thank you for teaching us and still being nice to us and awesome.
Jesus.
Like, like
Wait,
you're lucky that I'm nice to you.
I'm proud of this idea. We did so another thing I loved that I think this is like strictly for the pre-K kindergarten years when they fill out
Oh,
how old is your dad?
yes.
It's so cute. My dad is
That's
15 years old.
Oh, he
His
is.
favorite food is eggs with spicy sauce, like, all this stuff. If I could give him anything, I would give him new glasses so that he could see better.
Oh my God. Right.
Anyway, she did that for Mother's Day and Father's Day, and it was literally like the best gift I
love
ever
that.
received in my life. It was so sweet. So then for end of year, I had Rye do one for her and her co. And
That's
was
so nice.
right. I thought that was a good idea.
That's a really good idea. Good job, mommy.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the cash, of course.
I feel like I already did all of my catch up because I just talked over you.
Yeah, that's it. No, I love you. What's your catch up? Tell me. Tell us. We're all we want to know.
Oh, well, a little bit of tea. One having to do, okay, well, first of all, did I tell you that I got a new piercing?
No. Where?
So it's not fun. It's just okay, so my regular lobes, my right ear, when I got my first ear piercing when I was like 8, I got it done at Claire's, and my mom said she saw the woman like point, or the girl, the like young 14
12-year-old. Yeah,
pointed the gun like down, and I had like a slit like forever. So like my entire life I could never wear like dainty post earrings. They would always look funny, and they got worse. Like the slits are really bad. And I thought that I was going to have to, people get the plastic surgery where they get it re-pierced.
Yeah.
And I went to this place called Studs in
Yes.
Georgetown. Oh my God, it's so cool.
So cool. So cool.
Easy. And I said to them, I was like, I can't wear regular studs because this is all messed up. So I just want to do something else. And she's like, we've got room. We can fix that for you. She found room on this lobe. And it's now, technically, I have like another one. It's just in a little bit further, but it looks
amazing.
Like
studs.
To be 40 years old and finally be able to wear
something. I love you.
Is a very big catch-up. I'm so excited.
That's so exciting.
Also, I don't know if
we are going to link studs, though. I am going to interrupt. We are going to link studs because I've had so many friends go and like love it because they're actual like they know what they're doing. So yay, studs. Sorry, go ahead. Next thing I want to hear.
And also talk about like giving a gift. That was the one time in like the past few years that I was very excited to tip somebody. Like, you know how now you go get a coffee and they're asking for a tip? Like, everyone
Yeah,
wants
and you're like,
they did an amazing job. The price was very reasonable.
yeah.
It was a wonderful experience. I love how they have the diagram of the ear on the storefront, and you can pick where you want it.
Oh, yeah. They're really great. I love that. Okay, go ahead. Because you preface it and I'm like sweating because I want to know what it's about.
Oh, well, did I tell
Prefaced
you
it
I
before we
finally got
started.
back on I finally got back onto Facebook?
Oh, you did?
Yes, I didn't tell
Thank
you.
God. No, you didn't. Now we can fix our Facebook page.
I'm so happy I saved it. So I went off of Facebook. I like deleted my Facebook because it was just something that was distracting me when I was working on my computer. Like I would just like not even realize what I was doing and type in Facebook when I should have been like writing lesson plans or something. And
Right.
I wasn't using it anymore. And so I deleted it, and I don't know how it happened. I thought it was completely deleted, but I guess it got hacked in the process of me thinking it was deleted. And I don't know what this hacker did, but Facebook was like,
Yeah, they were like, bye.
back. Like they wrote a note and it said permanently disabled, nothing you can do. And so I had wanted to go back on because last episode I talked about how I went to that tutor meetup.
Yeah.
Which was wonderful. I won't get into all of it. But one of the things they recommended to build business was staying in the Facebook groups for community advertising. And I'm looking to build what I'm doing and hire some people. And so I need to get more clientele. And so I saw a reason that I really needed Facebook. And I've been loving the Instagram community that I'm interacting with through our Sounded Out account. So I thought, okay, this is great. Let's get back onto Facebook. Wouldn't let me in. I tried a different email address, but they had a new feature where they take a video of you from all these different angles, and they were like, "It's Cailin." No.
Oh my God.
I
didn't even know they did that.
Randomly, and instead of putting in my email for a new account, I just put in my phone number, and then it worked.
Oh.
I'm not asking any further questions.
I wouldn't I wouldn't say anything at all.
So
That's
I'm
crazy.
building my account, and it's just like strictly for my tutoring business. So I'm not like looking to add friends. I immediately was searching all the groups on Capitol Hill to see who I'd want to align with. I'm uploading like my website, photos of our podcast. And then I sign on the other day, and I have 2 friend requests. And it's like one of a family member that like nobody really talks to anymore, and my ex-boyfriend from college.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So this is the thing. Oh.
So I'm like,
What's he up to?
Like this ex-boyfriend, and he does some really impressive stuff in the culinary industry in the South. And I would actually like to catch up with him, but I can't accept his friend request because I don't want him to feel the feeling of when he sees that he's my only friend.
Okay, so we'll have to like.
I'm gonna wait to accept him and give him like you're welcome.
Yeah, but not now. Oh my God, that's hysterical. I also kind of love it too. I love when when they reach out again.
I do too. I know.
Yeah,
and the profile picture is like him and his like wife on their wedding day, and he's like,
oh my
dipping
God.
it.
God bless.
Yeah, so that's my catch up.
That's amazing though. No, and I'm so glad. Welcome back to Facebook.
Thanks.
Everybody, round of applause. Yeah. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's good. It's good. We'll see. I don't know, like advertising on the groups is a new thing for me. I feel like embarrassed, like posting all the time, but the women I were speaking to in the tutor group were like, I post every single day.
I think that's how you build your business. And you can use Canva. You could probably use Canva to like make little, because I feel like those are cute. Like when you have little, I don't want to say stickers, but and you can like put them in like images into your posts. Right. It's great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right. Next up, things we're loving right now.
So mine is because it's the summer. First, I am going to comment about my hair because I've been touching it. So anybody who's actually watching, like not my mom, but maybe like Linda or Dennis, if you're watching, I apologize for touching my hair so often. But this is the first time I've worn it curly, like on the pod, number one. And two, just like out and about. Because usually I have it like thrown back, it's in a bun, it's like away from my face. And I don't know, I'm getting used to her.
Yeah.
And I love her, but I don't know where we're not in sync yet. So I just wanted to apologize to anyone who's annoyed by me touching my hair. So that's number one. Things I'm living right now.
You haven't seen her in a while.
I haven't, no, because usually she hibernates for the winter, protective, blowouts. So, and here she is. I don't know.
You were saying before we started recording, you said something about like, oh my God, my hair, like, you were like apologizing for it, which is like,
I know, so big.
But then I also said to you, Shanida, I take like 7 horse pills every evening just to try to like get hair.
Thing I'm living right now. Okay, so summer vacation, I'm off the grind. I am... So back in the day, a couple years ago, I found this thing called the Nap Ministry. It was founded in 2016 by Trisha Hersey. And it's an organization, and I follow them because I love their memes. They had great memes. And it's like, rest is resistance. But it's an organization that examines the liberating power of naps. And I say yes to that. Because I'm resisting against the grind. I'm resisting against the go, the we gotta be busy. If you're not busy, you're not doing anything.
Hustle culture.
Yes, no hustle, more muscle. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm gonna read. But yeah, I'm off the grind. I'm not doing it. I'm resting. Rest is resistance. That's it. That's all.
Wait, I missed the beginning. This is an Instagram account?
Yeah, it's called the Nap Ministry. She has a website. She does they have meetup groups. They have workshops. It's amazing. It's actually really amazing. And it's based in social justice that we, slaves weren't given time to rest. They worked all the time. And so it's been kind of instilled into our culture, us as people of color, that, you gotta go. No, you don't. I gotta no. I gotta lie down. I gotta z.
Wow.
Is that a lot? Yeah.
I mean, merch coming soon. That's really good.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. And I think I just really, I need to rest. And I need to let myself recharge. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. Or whatever it is that saying. Anyways, so that's what I'm loving right now. What are you loving right now? Okay. Is there anything...
It's quick, and it actually ties into us getting started with our episode because we're at 33 minutes right now, which reminds me, I do want to, and this is something I think we should keep in not cut out. I want to start putting timestamps, very simple, in our episode description of at 35 minutes, we transition to the main idea. So if people want to get to what the episode title is, they can. Some people might want the opposite. They might want to hear us just talk about nothing and then turn it off when it gets to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
great idea.
That's on my list. I'll do that. I'm happy to do that part of the episode description. But really quick, the thing I'm loving right now is another podcast, and it has a website to go along with it too. The podcast is called The Science of Reading Formula. And I've been listening to it because I have a lot of travel time twice a week. And it's during the day. I don't want to put on one of my pop culture podcasts because that feels like end of the day relaxed. Something where I'm still learning and I feel like I'm multitasking. So I've been searching for something connected to the science of reading. And this is scratching the itch. So the Science of Reading Formula, it is a ton of episodes that are all about teaching reading based on the science of reading. There's a couple of episodes where and you've got to hustle, but she has a couple episodes where there's a little bit too much time spent on promoting her curriculum that she did design.
Okay.
Like you should, right? Like that's what she has
Right.
on the platform. But if you skip around that, I just find her ability to explain the science and then quickly pair it with what to do in the classroom and
Mm.
20-minute episode is very well done. And she has a website, thescienceofreadingformula.com, and there is a small fee, but there's tons of incredible resources.
Resources,
So
yeah.
instead of having to go on to Teachers Pay Teachers and just search and wonder, that anything she has is really incredible and simple and based in the science of reading. I'm going to link it in the notes.
And I love that because that's a perfect segue into our main idea. What is the science of reading? And who better to discuss and lead us through this? Yes, is our very own Cailin Kiefaber. So I'm gonna give a little preface. I prepared something because I wanted to link what I did in the workshop to all, we were preparing for this this episode, and Cailin sent this amazing outline, and it was really funny because I was like, oh crap, everything that you're saying, all the things that you're putting in this outline are things that we've looked at all week. And just if you don't know, yeah, it's so great. Thank you so much. So the workshop that I did is called Morphology Plus, and it's created by the Institute for Multisensory Education, also known as IMSE. We called it IMSE, but it's IMSE, which I think is cute. And it's a workshop and resource for educators, which applies the science of reading research to classroom instruction using explicit, systematic, sequential, multisensory approaches, which I think is absolutely amazing and exactly what they need. Just for I keep wanting to say our listeners, but I'm like, who? This is for my mom, even though she probably knows what this is. But multisensory, in case we don't know, means learning via the eyes, ears, mouth, and hands. So it's multimodal.
Also, Lucy's definitely not listening.
She's not, because every time I've asked, she's like, I'll listen later. I'm like, did you listen? And she's like, to what? And I'm like, never mind. IMSE believes this goes back to what you talk about, Cailin, and you're going to talk about later. IMSE believes that teachers are the direct link between literacy and children. And this kind of thought, this was a lot. I mean, it's a little extra, but it says, the responsibility of teachers is one of the greatest in any profession. And I was like, that's a lot. But in Moats and Foreman, in their research, they saw that reading outcomes are largely influenced by teachers and parents, but it's mainly teachers and what happens in the classroom. So just massive. I want you to start, but I wanted to talk about what science of reading is. And I will say this, is that the science of reading is often misinterpreted as a specific program. That's what we learned in the morphology workshop, is that it's a vast amount of research on reading. The science of reading is derived from researchers from multiple fields. This is super important. Cognitive psychology, communication science, developmental psychology, education implementation science, linguistics, neuroscience, and school psychology. It's all of these different areas coming together, putting their research together for the benefits of reading, writing, and improve student outcomes. That's all. All right, Cailin.
Well,
give it to us.
So I have a bunch of things I want to say before I even get into the outline. Number one, expert is a very generous term that I do need to disclaimer. Expert could have a variety of meanings. When I hear expert, I assume the person has some sort of degree in the subject. And I must say, this is a self-created exploration, or I was going to say self-created degree, but it's not. It's in no shape or form a degree. I have been obsessed with literacy since I chose to get a dual master's in it in my 20s and then experienced about 15 years of trying to figure out how to teach reading instruction in an effective way. I mean, traveling the world, studying under really intelligent, exciting educators, but it wasn't until the science of reading slid across my desk via Orton Keeling and like, oh, like,
Yeah.
what? And so I became obsessed with it and have been doing a lot of independent research on it since I left the classroom. And now apply it through being a reading specialist here in DC and working with students one-on-one. So what I am sharing is I am a vehicle for anyone listening. I am bringing you the information that I spent a few years, probably 5 years now, exploring and trying to digest and fact checking. And I'm now delivering to you what I've learned with the understanding that the research is ever changing, or not really ever changing. The research is the research, but I think interpretation of it sometimes shifts and people might have different opinions. But what I love about this specific realm of reading instruction is that it is based in science, and science makes me feel comfortable because the research is the research. Whereas in the past, we were reading a lot of theories of people, of how to differentiate spelling instruction and how to teach reading in a way that got readers excited. It was a lot of theory and it was lacking evidence. And so I'm excited to share the factual evidence. And the other thing I wanted to touch on was that quote talking about how it's a teacher's job, really, to what, can you repeat it? What did it say about teachers?
So this is from Moats and Foreman, Foorman, and they say that teachers are the direct link between literacy and children, and the responsibility of teachers is one of the greatest in any profession.
So in the past, I think I would have heard that and thought, well, that's not really fair because there's so much education that can happen in the home. And also we want to promote reading at home and literacy at home. But, and now that I'm a parent and also a literacy tutor, I'm learning that it's really true that there's only so much that most parents can do because of the natural relationship between a parent and a child.
Yes.
For example, I've had many intake calls with new clients and the parent is saying, my gosh, you're so lucky. If your child ever has a reading difficulty, they have you. And I'm like, oh, no. Won't be me. I'll have to pay someone else, because chances are, not definitely, but chances are very high that if I sit down and try to teach my kid how to read, they're going to tell me to please get lost.
Yes.
And either like put on Bluey or find the Play-Doh and just like
yeah. I also feel like, to a certain extent, and I'm just going to interrupt one little thing, I think that's why we have teachers. Parents are to parent. Your job is to parent. Our job is to teach. That's why we're teachers. Like, a teacher isn't going to parent and a parent isn't going to, I mean, to a certain extent, but does that make sense? Like, yeah. I love that, like, also to be able to say to a parent, like, don't worry about that. That's not your job. Like, you love and care and nurture. Let me be the one to be like, no Bluey for you. Get it. Where are your cards? Let's find the cards. Yeah. Like,
it's why, like, I think homework is so controversial. And you and I, when we taught together, we were aligned on the philosophy of homework. It's not for parents to be reteaching at home. The only reason homework should exist is to give a child a sense of responsibility and routine. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Who cares what the content is? No. It's not for the teacher's doing the teaching in school. Parents should not have to.
Exactly.
So what is the science of reading? Basically, I mean, there's so much still to research and learn and uncover, because literacy experts have been studying how children learn how to read for over 70 years. And when I say literacy experts, there's brain researchers who are literally scanning a child's brain before and after reading instruction to identify any shifts in the brain. Speech pathologists are also looking to see if there are pieces of our spoken language that we learn and how they can be applied to written language. Educators are testing strategies in the classroom, psychologists, social workers, sociologists. So 70 years of research, and I want to do a quick recap of the reading wars. Yeah,
love it.
Because it ties into that. So we talked about this in our in the Lucy Calkins episode.
Yeah.
We spoke about the reading wars, and that's how we came up with the idea to have this episode. But in the 1970s, phonics was the name of the game. So we're matching letters to sounds. This idea was king. It's what everybody was following. In the 1980s and 90s, whole language comes to the plate. And whole language is saying, stop wasting your time with phonics. We need to teach kids whole words. So you're getting, the word walls and the sight word cards. The theory there was humans naturally learn how to read, and all we need to do is give them access to good books, put these, this rich literature in their hands, and just have them read to themselves. So we all probably have memories of being kids, and it's drop everything and read, and the teacher turns off the lights, puts on the lava lamp, and we're all just quietly reading our books.
Yes.
And I actually really dug that time, because I was
Sam.
I knew how to read and I wasn't having any issues. But imagine,
it breaks my heart.
And there's no instruction coming to you. You just need to sit there with all these books, and you're making glue balls. What are you're just
it's like being thrown into the ocean and being expected to swim without instruction.
And it's funny too. I remember my early years, my first classroom, the book nook was such a big deal. We had table lamps and a vibe, the whole vibe in the corner. Okay, so late 90s, in comes balanced literacy. So a little bit better. Now we're saying, let's teach a little bit of phonics and combine it with a little bit of whole language. So we're still drilling sight word cards.
Right.
And then we're learning reading strategies.
Okay? I am going to interrupt and say really quickly, I don't want people to think that we're saying all of these things were bad. They are, having a book nook and the lamp and the vibe, they're great once your students know how to read. It's something you can implement in your classroom, yes, but you can't just be kids are going to sit and read without the instruction. So I think that's what we're also making sure to say, is that there's a place for phonics, and there's a place for the book nook and the vibe and all of that and the balanced literacy, but the phonics has to be there. Okay, no, I'm done.
I'm glad you said that, because I did kind of feel like I was talking shit, and I didn't.
No, and it was good. No, because it's true, but because it was one without the other.
Balanced literacy is happening in the late 90s, and it's definitely what I walked into when I started teaching. It was a balanced literacy era. And then in 2018, Emily Hanford publishes the New York Times article calling out educators for ignoring the research about how brains really learn to read. And that article went viral, and it was from October 26, 2018. We will link it below. Why are we still teaching reading the wrong way? Was the title of the article, and Sold a Story, the podcast comes out. And quick, steamroll ahead. Now we have the science of reading as a very big movement. We are not ignoring the research anymore. The research is what has now been coined the science of reading. It's this research that's been done on human brains and how we learn to read. So what is the science of reading? As Shanida, you mentioned, it's not a book or a curriculum. It's 7 decades of research. And the research largely talks about how we have used spoken language. This kind of feels like a reminder. When I learned this, it felt like, oh yeah, duh. But like for some reason I needed somebody to really spell it out for me. We have used spoken language for a million years, but we've
Right.
only used written language for a couple of thousand years, right? So it speaks to the idea that our brain has not evolved to a natural ability to read. And it is wild to me still to this day how mind blown I was when I read that. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I knew it and but like didn't
Right.
apply it. Like I never
It just makes
questioned
sense.
the way I was teaching for all of those years until it was spelled out in black and white. So
Yeah.
I mean, babies' brains are able to naturally pick up spoken language.
Hmm.
But teachers play a huge role in shaping children's brains for reading, as do parents and caregivers.
Yeah.
So now let's go deeper. What does this mean?
Yeah, I wanted to just mention or just like go off on a little tangent of language acquisition for, I love saying it and I'm going to say it again. For anybody who's listening and doesn't know what language acquisition actually entails, let's talk about it. But there are a number of theories, right? Language acquisition is something that occurs, like you said, in babies' brains. But I found this fascinating, and I did study linguistics, eons ago, in my first master's, and it was fascinating because there's studies that show that babies in the womb, up to 10 weeks before giving birth, can not only recognize their mother's voice, but can also recognize the voices around them and are already understanding the cadence or the prosody, the rhythm and intonation of language, and can identify the difference between that and a foreign language. So like if your mom speaks English and she goes to, I don't know, Japan, and she's speaking to somebody who speaks Japanese, that in that little fetus is going to know the difference. I thought that was like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Here's something else. While in your utero, okay, I'm going to actually just read this. Language acquisition affects how those children perceive vowel sounds.
Oh.
So could you imagine? So listen to this. So both of us are New Yorkers. We have a very specific accent. We understood that long O, right, doesn't sound like long O next to NG, like ng. So like Long Island, when we heard it as babies, was one way as opposed to when we're reading it and phonetic, right?
It
I just
does.
found that fascinating.
It does make sense, and I've always wondered if you have, say, a British father and an English mother, or any mix, like how does the child end up? And from what I think you're saying, and from what I've understood, it has to do with is it the community around them?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's that, and I think something else, like, so once the child is born, right, the way language develops, like there are all these theories, right? There's cognitive development, right? There's several neurological stages. This is from Piaget, that from womb to like even adulthood, how our brains understand and pick up language. There's this nativist theory that's Noam Chomsky, our favorite, who says like babies are born with this natural drive to want to learn how to communicate, which I think is like fascinating, but that we're hardwired for language, not for reading, right? For this acquisition of like how to speak, how to communicate. And then there are these other ones, the behaviorist, there's also interactionist, and there are other theories of language acquisition. But the last one is it's learned through imitation, reinforcement, and conditioning. So what you were saying before, which is like the people around us, the community that we have, that plays a huge role in how we learn language. That's why language immersion is this big thing in schools and in how you learn a second language, because you learn it by doing, by being a part of it, by experiencing it.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
all.
So yeah, we are not wired for written code.
No.
An invention only invented 5 or 6 thousand years ago, and it's a cultural invention, right? So we don't
Yes.
have the system in our brain to turn letters into sounds. We have to create that system.
Yeah. And like my questions, were like, when does this start to happen, and like how? When do these skills begin? How does that whole process start?
Yeah. So most of us don't, and I get this all the time, again, when I'm having intake phone calls with parents of struggling readers. Most of us don't remember how we learned how to read. We just remember our experiences with books. It's interesting. I've gotten a lot of parent calls where they're saying, my whatever age, it's a variety of ages too. It'll be like a kindergartner or first or second grader. My child is having a lot of difficulties to read, and I don't remember learning how to read, but I know I was reading by age 3 or 4. And, that is just, I mean, that's a whole other
Wow.
conversation. I'm always like, are you sure? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
But it drives home the point that they have no idea how they learned how to read.
Right.
They just know what their experiences with books were like, and they were probably having very positive experiences with text at a very early age, right? And so, like you said, it starts at birth with spoken language, and spoken language in our brain is the hub of written language. It's the foundation. So the vocabulary you hear, the knowledge you build, all of that starts with spoken language. And then what needs to happen is that kids need to tune into new sounds and to here's the key, individual speech sounds, what we know as phonemic awareness, and then to map those speech sounds to letters. So there is so much happening in the brain to be able to actually say a letter sound. There's so much before that needs to happen, so many connections that need to be made in the brain. And this is where the science of reading and all of that research comes to play.
Right. And that was my question. My next question was like, so what do we know now because of the science of reading? What has that brain science uncovered?
So we have an area in our brain that's designed for face recognition and object recognition, but we do not have an area in our brain that is designed for taking a letter and turning it into a sound. So what we do is our brain will co-op that face object recognition part of our brain and apply it to letters. And this is why a reader's brain looks different than a non-reader's brain, because the reader's brain has made the shift in order to recognize a letter as a sound. And we see there's an area of the brain that becomes specialized from letters that we didn't see at birth. And it's so cool that you could actually tell that in a brain scan.
Wow.
And I think I've done a lot of research, but Cailin Strom, PhD, is somebody that we will also be linking in this episode.
Yes.
She has not only done a ton of great, she's taken the research and given it to people in a digestible way. And she's done it even a step further. She's given it in a visual way where she's applied this map of the brain with like these special little cities, and we'll share all of this, but it really helped me actually understand. And her quote is, we don't have a civilization in our brain that's meant for reading. We have to build that civilization. So that's what she actually shows you in picture form. So I can get into the specifics of the civilization if you want.
Yeah, give us a little taste, a little overview. Okay.
I'm going to give you no scientific true words. I'm just going to speak in the pictorial representations that Cailin Strom taught me.
I love it.
Scientists, like, I'm sorry if I give you the ick. So we have different areas of our brain. So area 1 is the spoken language region, which has 2 different neighborhoods. And this is all thanks to Cailin and Shanida. We've got Sound City, where we process sound and we receive and pronounce words. And then Meaning Mountains, where we create meaning, store meaning. The foundation of the reading system is the spoken language region, and it all starts here. Then area 2 is vision villages, the occipital lobe. There's a science word. It's the area for recognizing objects and faces. Remember, we don't have an area for recognizing words. So there's no connection between vision villages and Sound City and Meaning Mountains. So she also points out a reminder when we're looking at the brain and thinking about how reading development happens. She also reminds you that executive functioning and working memory is governed in all areas, right? So before we jump to all of these assumptions of a child being able to read or not being able to read, we need to look a little deeper and think about, like, do they have anxiety, trauma? Are they stressed, unsafe? Like, what is their, when we do when we do a neuropsych on a child, this is why, because we don't want to just put a kid into a box and say struggling reader. We want to pull things apart.
Right, because they affect, go ahead.
They affect everything else. Yeah, like the executive functioning being the biggest piece.
Huge.
So how do we connect Sound City and Vision Villages? We develop sound sensitivities, and this is what's called phonemic awareness. For some reason, like phonemic awareness and phonological skills took me like 10 years to really understand. I always had so much trouble understanding how they differ, but the sound sensitivities being phonemic awareness is the best way I've heard it defined. And it's the ability to perceive and play with the tiniest sounds in words. So when we are blending, at that, like blending, can you tell me the first sound? Can you tell me the last sound? Those practices feel like they're not a big deal. They are so huge. And you should start doing them with your kids as early as you can, because they'll start tuning into those little sounds, which will help them make these connections.
Yeah.
So then the brain will create mapping between Vision Villages and Sound City as you start to practice identifying those tiny little sounds.
When you were saying that playing with the sounds, that's a lot of towards the kind of middle of our workshop in the morphology training that we have to do with our older kids, because the training that I did, it's not the Orton Gillingham or that for younger children. It's for grades 3 to 5 or even higher. And that's one of the things that they were showing us how to do, is like using these bases, Latin bases or Greek bases in words, like ology, changing words around to have different meaning, or even just like verb tenses. And students that already have this foundation that you're talking about, they're better able to do this independently and while they're reading, and like looking at, like, if they see a word, like, I don't know, I'm not going to give an example because my brain's going to go off and it's not going to come out as succinct as I want it to. But like when you're looking at a word and you're like, oh, that's a cognate, or that's a version of this word that I know. And just being able to have that flexibility between knowing what different words mean. We also learned about, in the training, a lot of misconceptions about looking at what impedes successful learning of language, of learning of reading. So like saying that reading comes naturally, or that reversals is something that, oh, if you write your B and your D the opposite way, you're dyslexic. And it's like, it's a lot deeper than that. And I would love if you could like shed some light on any of those.
This was another one of those moments where I'm like, I wasn't even excited to learn something new. I was so stuck on the obsession that I wished I knew this earlier, because how many parents would come up to us? I remember one
Yeah.
parent. Do you remember? There was a parent that snuck into the classroom to steal the kids' writing journal.
Yes.
He was so
That's
upset.
exactly who I was thinking of.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
She was
God.
totally convinced that her child had a reading disability, and it was all because of reversals.
Yeah.
And okay, so this was when I learned this. When we look at the brain and we know that we're not hardwired for understanding and knowing letters, think about a chair. Okay, so no matter how we turn a chair, it's still a chair. So if we face it to the left, if we face it to the right, our brain still says it's a chair. So
Right.
when we do the letter B and we turn it, we're not like, oh, it's a D. No, it's just a B. Like, I know B. I remember B. My brain learned B. Okay, like, that's great. Can we just, like, chill? And, like, no, you can't chill. Because if we flip it this way, it's a D. Like, you know, it's a P, J. So, you know, this is literally just, you could argue that this is a moment where you just kind of have to naturally wait for the brain to make the connections. But there needs to be some explicit instruction first,
Yes.
and some repetition and some practice in order for it to one day stick.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a very natural, it's the way your brain works. It's not an indicator of an issue. And so reversals are incredibly common. It's a total myth that it means the child's dyslexic. It just means they're in process.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I really regret. I speak about this to a lot of parents of struggling readers. I used to sit at parent conferences of struggling readers before I knew any of this. And I would say things like, one day it will just click. And it's kind of like osmosis. I really truly believed that. That's what everybody was saying around me. And I really believed it too. But the whole language approach, there was always, it felt like 30% of my classroom that had some kind of difficulty that I could not pinpoint or connect with.
Yeah.
And I thought that practicing strategies would be helpful, but it's not just about immersion. We need to acquire this new tool, which is written language, and understand that the brain changes and there's a progression over time. It takes many years, but in those many years, there needs to be explicit instruction connected to phonological awareness, phonemic awareness being the most important. And many students are not naturally looking past the first or last sound and looking within a word unless they're guided or practiced. And within a word, where all of these tiny little sound parts are coming in, like vowel teams and R-controlled vowels, and so many sound parts that naturally a child is not going to look for or be able to identify unless they're explicitly taught.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot more to say.
I know. I was gonna ask.
I wonder if we should two-part this.
I think so, because I feel like there's so much more, and I don't want to cut you off, because this is, and I think maybe we can pick up next time with looking at strategies, looking at more of this, like how it's. I
think it could be a natural two-parter. If I think this was a really good, like, this is what it is, but we could also talk about take-home strategies with that.
Yeah, I agree, because you have some really great ones, and I think this is also where parents and teachers can be working together, because you do need that homeschool connection. And if you're working with your kid, and even if they're, in daycare or whatever, these are like some really, really amazing strategies. There's just a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. And we had a really
Yeah, that was great. That was amazing. So should we wrap up here?
Yeah, I think this is where we wrap up. And I just have to say, for everyone that's listening, it feels real good to be prepared for an episode.
I mean, to have notes,
you live and you learn,
an outline, like if you could see right now, we have a document, it's highlighted where somebody needs to speak. And to have like I'm not sweating as much as I was sweating before because I was excited
doodling.
about your catch up.
I was doodling. I was so chill.
Oh my god, me too. I wrote like little lists of things. I was like, oh, these are things we have to remember I have to put this in the thing, like timestamp. Like this was amazing. Can we high five over Zoom? Boom. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. Stay tuned. Next episode, we will continue this, and we'll talk more about strategies, and we'll talk about the function of the science of reading as well, curricula, because it's more than one. Boom.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time. I love you so much. Thanks for tuning in to Sound It Out.
Sound It Out. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Sound It Out podcast.
Episode 4, What is the Science of Reading?
July 2025.
With your hosts,
Cailin Kiefaber
and Shanida Giovanna Gutierrez. Produced by
Cailin Kiefaber
and Shanida Giovanna Gutierrez.
Editor
Shanida Giovanna Gutierrez. Music by Shanida Giovanna Gutierrez.
Graphic design
Marie at MRKTTNR@Fiverr.
Special thanks to all teachers everywhere for this amazing year. Have the best summer.
And thanks to you for listening to the Sound It Out podcast.
You can find us on Instagram at the Sound It Out podcast.
Or on our website at thesounditoutpodcast.com. That was amazing.
Okay, hold on.
Wait. Okay,
no,
go.
Oh my god. Like when will we learn that you just have to do your homework?
All you have to do is do homework.
And don't forget to tune in
and sound it out.
The Sound It Out podcast.